This is how you can convince yourself to do literally anything, whether that's getting six-pack abs or buying a yacht or just running a marathon, okay? It's behind this very nice car. So, the first thing is self-belief. Now, what do I mean by self-belief? And why does every single freaking millionaire tell me that I need to do self-belief? Okay, it's behind this other car of what I actually mean by self-belief, and it has four main points, okay? The first point is, who are you? Now, when I ask you the question, who are you, most people are going to answer the question by saying, okay, my name is Safwan, and I'm 17, and I go to school, and I run a business, or I do this for my day job, blah, blah, blah. They keep listing things that they either are by default, which is their name, or their age, or where they're from, or what they do for a living, but that's not who you are. If you take those main components out, those surface level BS out, that's when you truly get who you are. Now, this question is very deep, and I could possibly make like a 40-minute long video just explaining this question, but in a very simple way to answer the question, who are you, we have a couple more points, which is firstly, skills, secondly, characteristics, thirdly, beliefs, and fourthly, paradigms, okay? The skills are basically anything that you're able to do. Characteristics are basically anything that's like sort of in your mind, which is like emotional intelligence, discipline, focus, all of that. Beliefs is basically anything that you actually believe in, whether that's your belief on whether or not God is real, or your belief on whether or not courses are a thing and then they're good, you know? Your paradigm is basically your world belief. Basically, your skills, characteristics, and beliefs create your paradigm. It's your world view. So in order to understand who you are, you need to figure out the skills you have. You need to figure out the characteristics, the mental characteristics that you have, and you need to figure out your beliefs. Okay? And to figure out your beliefs even deeper of your self-belief, you need to ask yourself, what can you do? What can't you do? What's your perception on X? You need to ask a bunch of questions. There's self-belief and who you are, there's a huge, deep rabbit hole you can go into, but simply to answer basically these three, or the main question of who are you, you need to figure out what you can do, what you can't do, and what's your perception. And anything that you can't do is your self-belief telling you can't do something. Yes, there might be evidence to back up you not being able to do something, but this is my simple philosophy when it comes to nearly everything, okay? If somebody else has done it before, why can't I do it? I don't care if I don't have, let's say, these skills, attributes, or whatever. The one thing that I'm going to have, no matter which realm of life I go into, I'm going to have the beliefs and the paradigm that I can do anything that everybody else has done. And if anybody hasn't done it, you need to have a different belief system for it. Now, the second thing you need to do is, what do you want? Or why do you want it? Sorry, I misread the question. Okay? Now, why do you want this? There's legit just one point behind this, which is ask yourself why 5 times. Let's say you want a Porsche 911, some other letters that I can't remember right now. Let's say you just want like a really nice Porsche. Why do you want it? Maybe you ask yourself why, and you go, because it's going to make me look cool. Okay, why do you think it's going to make you look cool? Because people will pay attention to me. Why does it matter that people will pay attention to you? Oh, well, people didn't pay attention to me when I was broke, so if I have a Porsche, then people will pay attention to me. Okay? And why do you have that feeling? Maybe it's because your parents didn't give you enough love. Okay? And then you can't ask why again. Why didn't your parents give love? You need to go ask your fucking parents. But what I recommend to do is ask why at least 5 times until you go to the core of it. Because you might think, okay, I want a Porsche because it's going to make me look cool, but there's so much inside, deeper things that you can get into. Because you see how I went from literally, okay, I want to buy a Porsche. Why do I want it? Because I want people to think that I'm cool, to because my parents didn't give me enough attention when I was young. That's how deep you want to go. Because that's when you know the actual reason. That's when you know your actual why of why you want something. Now, let's go over to the last point, which is arguably one of the most important. And if everyone's understanding and getting the most out of this video, join my free Discord down below. You get free calls with me and a bunch more resources on productivity and whatnot. Okay, versions of yourself. What I mean by versions of yourself is this giant other Porsche. I know, I like Porsches. Anyways, so let's delete this. So, Simply said, this is the current version of you. The example that I'm using over here is you trying to lose weight. Okay, so version 1 of you, which is the current version of you, probably thinks, okay, losing weight is hard. I need to go to the gym 24/7. I don't even really want it. I love the way I look. Courses are a scam. Life is too short. Fast food is actually healthy. If you think about it, they don't use that many bad resources. And this is the current version of yourself. But what you don't realize, in order to achieve the goal of you becoming a fit person, or let's say getting abs, or just being functionally strong, whatever the goal is, okay? Whether you want to achieve a goal or not, the current version of you cannot achieve that specific goal, because the current version of you doesn't have the belief systems to actually go achieve it. Because the current version of you thinks losing weight is extremely hard. I need to go to the gym 24/7, and you don't even really want it. Courses are a scam, so I'm not gonna buy a course that's gonna help me out. Life is too short. Like, you have all of these perspectives and you have all of these attributes of your current version. So your current version is not built to get to that goal, because all of these thoughts that you have, all of these things that you believe in, you cannot get to a point if all of your thoughts, opinions, and beliefs contradict that point that you're trying to get to. And in order to get to the next version, which is version 2, which you need to figure out the attributes and beliefs that they have, which is, let's say, losing weight is hard, but I can do it. I don't need to go to the gym 24/7. I want it, and I'll actually get it. Courses are worth it. Life is long, and I want to. And fast food isn't good. Obviously, this is like it's not a full example. I'm not a fitness coach or whatever, but it's currently like the opposite of whatever you currently think. And it's not very black and white when you actually go into this, because some of your beliefs are going to be right, some of them. But the reason why, even afterwards you see this, you're going to think, okay, I got it. I need to basically turn into the other version, but how do I turn into that other version? Like, I get it. First, I'll figure out the list, but then what do I do afterwards? Like, I still struggle. Like, I still know exactly the person I need to be to achieve the goal, but I don't know how to. That's when the second diagram comes in, okay? Which is, why is it so freaking hard to get to that second place, okay? Because in order for you to achieve your goal, you need to become version 2 of yourself, or whatever version. We're just using version 2 to make it simplified. But in order for you to become version 2, version 1 of you has to die. Because quite literally, it cannot survive and you achieving the goal. Because the current version of yourself, it has all of the negative attributes that push you away from your goal. That basically puts your goal into a perspective of like, okay, it's really hard, I don't even really want it, like, I love the way I look, man, like, blah blah blah. Like, it's coming up with all this bullshit. And in order for you to go and actually get that, let's say, 6-pack abs, I should have drawn them here, you need to kill this version of yourself. Hopefully I don't get age restricted for saying all this, but quite literally, this version of you cannot survive. And the reason why it's so damn difficult for you to become version 2 is because us as humans, we're like survival animals, or our mindsets and our versions of ourselves, they are. Because in order for us to become the next version of ourselves, the better version, the first version needs to die. And in order for that to happen, it struggles. You're gonna struggle to get to that next version, because it's natural animal instinct to try to survive, try to run away. Which is why when you try to go do things that you know are good for you, but you're unable to do it, it's the version of yourself, the current version of yourself, that's being like, okay, I want to survive. I don't want this to happen. Because the more you do the things that's gonna put you more towards version 2 of yourself, pushes you away from this current version of yourself. Which is why comfort pushes you more towards the current version of yourself, and discomfort pushes you to the complete opposite direction. And you need to realize that, because a lot of people, this whole thing makes people realize that, oh, that's why it's so difficult. So whenever you're lacking the discipline and you're lacking the drive to do something, you need to realize, okay, the reason why I don't want to do this is because the current version of myself wants me to stay the same. It doesn't want me to change. And then that's a internal conversation with yourself to have, that, okay, but do I really want to become that second step? Because trust me, it's no matter the goal, it's gonna be hard. Whether you want to build $1 million business or you want to get 6-pack abs, it's gonna be hard, and you're gonna have so many like failures, and you're gonna learn so much along the way. But it's a genuine question to be had. Like, do you actually want your goal? Do you want to stay the same? Because this is the thing. You can stay the same, There's nothing wrong with that. Except, just ask yourself the question, if you were in this exact same position that you are currently 5 years from now, would you be happy with yourself? If the answer is yes, good for you. If the answer is no, you need to take the necessary actions to get to that next version of yourself. So, simply said, this is exactly how you can convince yourself to do literally anything. Join my Discord, link in description. Bye-bye.